This episode contains language that is not suitable for minors. Please enjoy responsibly. And now, today's episode.
Tony, you should make it a habit, though, of doing the whole, this is how you contact us, kind of blah, blah, blah.
Up front, yeah.
Or at least in the who we are thing.
Yep.
Because even sometimes some of these things start, and it's just all of a sudden like, am I in the middle of the episode already?
Yeah, it just rolls up. What did I miss? Well, to me, it's all one. You can't just jump in. You gotta start from episode 1. If you're just joining us now, go back to episode 1 and pick it all up. It's like you don't just jump in the middle of Star Trek and start watching it.
Are you saving all the video? Like, is there when they do the retrospective, they're going to put this video?
I am, but it wasn't intentional. And this week it did help out actually. So I was like, okay, as long as I have space, I'll keep it.
So we could all start dressing better.
No, we'll just put pictures up of monkeys dancing around or something.
I'm sure in the future we could just swap out our clothing and
that's right. I'll have my daughter put those little cute rabbit ears that she does with her phone on us. Yeah,
we could filter the whole thing.
Right, and she'll put it on her YouTube channel.
Saw Paul Fisher yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I did. I stopped by his house. He had a birthday last week, so I stopped by his house.
Nice.
And he was sitting out on the front porch, and it was good to see Paulie.
I'm double dosed, by the way, as of yesterday.
All right.
So in 2 weeks, it'll take effect, and I'm good to go.
Excellent.
I can hit spring break and just rip my shirt off and mask off.
I'm actually, talking about opening day. I'm going to be in Miami, and I'm literally staying on 4th Street, and they've closed.
Oh my God, that's where the craziness is happening.
Street, the 16th Street. So
do you want me to start the show now?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
And we'll dedicate it to our friend Paul, who had a birthday. It's episode 14. And this is The Beatdown. I'm your host, Tony, or some people know me as Anthony, but we had an Anthony last week, so it's confirmed that I'll be Tony until we get Tony as a guest. And I'm the host on this journey, and my two pilots are the talent. They're the Beatles and rock and roll guys I turn to for stories. There's my two friends, John Rosso and Chris Hewlin. And we are The Beatdown. We're available on Apple, Google, CastBox, and Stitcher. Subscribe to us and know when a new episode is available. Have something to say, send us an email.
Let us know what Tony you should have as a guest.
Who should we have as a guest?
We need a Tony. I thought you said we need a Tony.
Yeah, we should. Then I'll be referred to as Anthony. If you want to email us to come on the show, you got to submit a 2-letter double space typed reference letter, as did our last guest, to the Beatdown Music Podcast at gmail.com, or like us on Facebook.
Or just 5 elegant words. We'll
exactly.
Who did you mention? Rasso. Who did you mention as a possible guest? You could get her.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No.
Yeah.
Who was it though? What's the name? Pamela.
I was saying Pamela DeBars would be.
So Pamela DeBars, by the way, it's not like I have a total recall about her book, but it's tawdry, man. It's just a piece of trash. Come on. Can
I just say one thing? Is she the GTO girl or no?
Yes, she was. Yeah. Miss Pam was one of the GTOs. And yeah.
You read that book, Rasso, right?
Yes. Miss Pamela, actually, when I was at SST, Miss Pamela called me up one day. And she's... And I'm getting this clanging. Going in the, I'm like... And I can't even remember the content of the conversation, except for the fact that she was kind of flirty. And I'm like, what's that noise? And she's like, oh, I'm doing the dishes. And she's like on the phone with me. And I'm trying to figure out, but
she was naked. With just a maid skirt. This
is the late 80s. Yeah, she's got the French maid outfit on.
Yeah, that's right.
But this is the late 80s. And I'm thinking, I guess, right? I guess there's speaker phones. I mean, she was like literally, it was like, I just thought it was a very strange experience.
It worked when she did that for Morrison.
Yeah.
But before we kick off the Beatdown,
if you actually read the book, she has a very limited sexual experience that she's focused very much on Jimmy Page, and she has this kind of You know, like she, and then she meets Michael DeBar, and that's, you know, she falls.
And I think I saw something recently on her. She was the one that she went to that Sunset Strip place with Jimmy Page, and he goes home with the Lori Maddox.
Yeah, like the 12-year-old. Yeah,
I saw her recently.
No,
whatever. I mean, it's all like right.
I saw her recently on something where
totally
she mentioned that. But John, I wanted to ask you, because it's come up a few times, and I've wanted tell me about your time at SST Records, and like, so how many records or how big were Black Flag records selling?
Black Flag was the big record sales there. Like, it's funny. This was the kind of the weird thing that I learned while I was there. It's like, you know, maybe this is just because I'm coming from the East Coast, is Sonic Youth was not the big record sales. They got all the press, but the big record sales were Black Flag and the Meat Puppets. Oh yeah, well, so I got there a year after D Boon died. So
no kidding, the Meat Puppets.
Absolutely, Meat Puppets would crank out and we're talking in a, you know,
I'm not like everybody was cranking out records, but like I didn't
records.
I didn't realize that they were selling. I could see where hardcore kids would just pick up, and even to this day, I'm going to say, you know, certainly Black Flag moves records still. You know what I mean? Like hardcore kids are still going to pick up a Black Flag record. You have to.
But that's what I want to know. Like, how many units roughly are we talking about for Black Flag?
Well, John, like, did you have a gig before SST? Number one, and the others, what years were you there?
So I was there 87, 88. So like literally, I like to call it the last hurrah. So that I got there just as Meat Puppets Huevos had just come out. Sister by Sonic Youth was the latest record, and Firehose Ifpin was just coming out. But the big thing for me was I
own all three of those on vinyl.
Well, the big thing for me is my favorite records at the time were the Screaming Trees, that first record that they put out, and they just put out their second record.
Screaming Trees' first record label was was SST.
Well,
I thought there was one up in.
Yeah, they were. There was a now I'm going to blank on his name. There was the guy who ended up Steve Fisk had a record label up in Ellensburg, Washington, and they put out their first album, which got reissued by SST almost immediately. So it was a little label that and Steve Fisk later had a band that ended up getting signed to Geffen called Pell Mell, which is a fantastic instrumental group.
Screaming Trees are a Seattle band, though.
They're Seattle band, yeah. So the Seattle, I mean,
are they coming out at the same time? So Seattle to me, there was a time in my life where Seattle to me meant the Young Fresh Fellows, John. You know,
this was 88 before Seattle even plays it, right? So,
no doubt about it. So what's that label? What's the label that's putting out?
You're talking Sub Pop, but there's no Sub Pop yet.
No. Young Fresh Fellows are out on what label?
Frontier Records? Maybe they're on Frontier.
You could be right.
We got to check.
It's actually out of San Francisco. Yeah, I want to say it might be. I want to say Young Fresh Fellows or Frontier, but Screaming Trees
Tony,
are not.
Listen to a song called "Rock and Roll Pest Control" by Young Fresh Fellows. It's awesome.
Well, yep. Cool.
And then Young Fresh Fellows. I'm not confused. They're two of the guys end up being they filled the role in Big Star for those Big Star reunion shows. Like they're like just possessives, yeah. But so
we're going back to 81 when they're formed. Nice.
Yeah, so this is Frontier Records. Are they on Frontier? Of course, also they had some Orange County bands, I think, too.
I mean, it says record labels Pop Llama, but that could be what they're on.
Pop Llama, I think.
Right, that's
could be what they're on now.
Later, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, we'll check their page. But like, how many units roughly do you think? Like, would they? How much would Black Flag sell? Like, if you hundreds of thousands, or
yeah, they'd sell 100,000 copies. Like it was real shit. Like literally, like the story I was told was like the best days of SST where they had double nickels and Zen Arcade simultaneously. And I can't remember what Black Flag record. It was like a later, you know how like Black Flag, it felt like they were churning them out pro. This is like maybe like when they started getting weird and experimental, and Rollins would have like poetry side and
Sure.
like,
Yep.
Did you know Dukowski or did you know Kira? Like, who was in the band? What was the lineup?
So Black Flag's done when I get there.
Gotcha. I was going to say that's either at the end or they're done. Right.
But you get St. Vitus. I mean, I got that record.
Yeah. So
you got Dinosaur Jr.
I worked with so St. Vitus was putting out records. A good friend of mine it's so funny who actually his family for literally 100 years have been in publishing for gospel music, or not gospel, but really hymnals. Like they make, based in Chicago, they make hymnals. And he was, he went to college with me, but I know him through another friend at college, and he directed a video for St. Vitus.
Nice.
It's so funny now. So now he's taking the family business, and so it's like, on my resume, I got, I published all these hymnals, and I directed a St. Vitus video.
But that's a well-rounded resume, yeah.
And so, anyway, so when I get there, this is late '87. I get there and I literally just answered an ad in the back of a magazine, and Black Flag.
What did the ad look for? What were they looking for? Got to answer phones? Got to run errands?
No, publicist.
Oh, okay.
It was they were looking for a press person, and my background before that is that I'd been in New York and I'd done all the stuff for the band, so I knew that. But literally my only real closest related job, and I got to tell you, I was getting paid $200 a week. It wasn't like
sure.
big money gig, and literally I am sharing one stall of a garage with two other people.
Right, and Henry Rollins would have been the other guy, right?
No,
the infamous Shed.
No, it's a guy, Mike Whittaker, who's known as Spaceman. Like,
okay.
The whole story that goes through that, the first publicist was Mike Watt. And they used to, because they were afraid of the cops, they would actually have to disguise themselves. So he created this name, Spaceman, all right? And so it would be like you could get promos from Spaceman, and Whittaker became Spaceman, and when Whittaker left, I became the next publicist. So I never had to use a fake name, because at that point they were pretty above ground by '87. But my claim to fame is I was quoted in an article about Negative Land in Rolling Stone. And Negative Land was really great about just making stuff up. So I could just make up a whole story about the connection between their record and this kid who had killed somebody in Minnesota. It was a bizarre way to end up in Rolling Stone. But so I'm there, and so Greg. I guess they were done in '86.
I gotta ask though, John, what's the name of the Minutemen's record company? Like, they form a different label, right?
No, they had their own label, and SST distributed it.
That's what it is. What's the name of the label?
I'm trying to remember.
Well, I can tell you now, the Young Fresh Fellows, their label was Frontier Records that you're thinking of.
So I'm not too bad. But yeah, the Minutemen had their own.
Right, they had their own label.
But they put their own records.
That's why I'm like, when you said Ifin comes out, which is another, like, what a great record that is. It really is. You have to give it up to Ed from Ohio going out there and doing his spiel, and like, it's a great record. And I saw that. I got to see the Minutemen too, but I definitely saw and got to meet Mike Watt at the Ritz in New York City on that Ifin tour.
I want to ask about another SST band. I want to say Mazzy Star. The pre-band to Mazzy Star, was it Opal?
Opal, yes.
Oh, that was a great record.
I feel like I'm not finishing my stories before you guys.
And now I'm like Chris, because we're talking SST stuff. I'm just one after another.
Ask you, like, what was the name of that Minutemen label? Because I remember they.
But the Minutemen weren't on that label. They got signed. They put out stuff on their own label, and then they got signed to SST, and SST distributed the label, and they signed other bands. So that's why, like, Firehose is on SST, Minutemen Records came out on SST, but then they would then do like an EP that just came out on their label. Why can't I? And now,
you want to mute it? You have a guest?
No, I'm looking here.
You're trying to Google it?
Minutemen record label. What is it called? Because it's torturing me. I want to say it's called it starts with an A or something.
Allegiance.
A New Alliance.
New Alliance, right.
No, wait a second.
Sacker and Trust still together at that point? I mean, that was a great band. I saw them open up for Black Flag.
The distributor. Hold on.